I don't know if y'all just think y'all gonna send anybody to my house because I'm a young mom, but I take my son's mental health issues like seriously, and his autism is nothing to be played with. Like, I just don't want any technician. So, can you send somebody with experience? So, the next person she sent out was a temporary um, technician. She didn't let me know that either. So, at that point, I was just over it. Like, I'm like, why are you not giving me this information? Why is it that the technicians are giving me all the information about what they're doing? And hey, I just want to give you a heads up. Like, why isn't the supervisor calling me, letting me know that, hey, I want to give you a heads up? Why am I always reaching out to you like, hey, I just found this out today. Hey, I just found this out today. Like, that's not how this is supposed to work. And then you want to wait till last minute to call me to update me on stuff. Like, no, like my son's autism is not something that can be last minute. Like, do y'all not know that this is his life? Like, this is our real life. Like, okay, y'all clock out and y'all go home at the end of the day. That's fine. I can't do that. Like, he can't do that. So don't play with my son. So at that point, I was completely over the company. I said, I'm going to cut my losses and I'm just going to try to get him enrolled into another company because it's not worth it. Like, you're sending anybody to my house. I don't want to keep introducing my son to these strangers. I don't want these strangers coming to my house. Like, I don't want to keep going through that. Like, who wants to keep going through that? So, she was calling me, hey, can we just give it another try? And like I said, at that point, I was just over it. Like, after the temporary technician thing, and she didn't let me know, nope, I was done. And then she was sending technicians to my house, not letting them know that it's other technicians there, and she's not letting other technicians know, like, oh, hey, well, they have an appointment this day, and it's like I already told her this, like, so it was just like a lot. So we cut our losses and we left Centria. So we went to Chitter Chatter. So literally we probably was just in Chitter Chatter for like 3 weeks. I'm gonna say 3 weeks. And I just had to like I just had a conflict with them a couple days ago because my son started school in September. He's in the early on program, so he started school in September. He goes 2 days a week, and the school is really good for him. Like, of course, he needs to go to school. Like, I'm not going to say he's not going to go to school. Like, that's part of the autism. He has to get used to being around other kids and, like, following directions and following our itinerary. So, of course, I jumped on board when I found out, hey, he can go to school, he can ride the bus, they'll come to your house, they'll pick you up, and mom, you can come too. You can get on the bus, you can stay with him the whole 2 hour class. So of course I was on board. And once the first day we went, I loved it. Like, they had everything together. Like, they had breakfast for the kids, they had a snack, they had the activities, they had the playroom, they had the, okay kids, we're gonna do circle time, okay kids, we're gonna clean up. And it was just like, getting them used to getting ready for their 3-year-old class. So I'm like, okay, I was loving it. So of course he still needs his ABA services because 2 days out the week for 2 hours is not enough. So that's when I started, we was looking into Chitter Chatter. I read the reviews because I didn't want to go through what I had just went through with Centria. I didn't want to go through that again. So I read the reviews, I looked up on it, I talked to people. Everybody said it was great company. So I said, good. My son started school in September. I didn't get to even talk to Chitter Chatter, I want to say, until October. So when I initially went into the meeting, I let them know, hey, my son is in school for 2 days out the week. So I really don't want him to I really don't want him to have session on those days. Okay, 15-hour minimum, that's fine. So it's a 15-hour minimum, but we want more. We recommend more. So of course I'm like, okay, well he can do the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 5 hours a week. I don't know if my math was off, but to me that adds up to 15 hours. So she was like, well, we recommend more. So I said, well, we can try, some a class on a Friday, but I said on Fridays, like I literally have to carry him off the bus because he's asleep. Okay, we'll try it out. If it don't work, it's no problem. Okay. So all of this is at the intake. All this is when I'm sitting down when my son is getting evaluated. So it's good. Of course, everybody's gonna feed you everything that you want to hear when they're trying to get you to sign those papers. So it took so long for us to even start with chitter chatter. Like I'm literally calling, I'm calling, I'm emailing people, I'm emailing the mental health department, I'm emailing everybody. Like literally, I have so many emails, I have so many calls that I call people. I didn't make complaints, and it's just like I don't understand why nobody's keeping me updated on what's going on with my son. Like everybody was calling when they wanted me to sign them papers so they can get their medical insurance, but now since that's on the road, nobody's updating me on when it's going to start or what else do we have to do to get it rolling. I'm calling, why am I calling y'all every week? Like, okay, is there anything I can do? Like, why is that? So I already had an issue with them before I even started because I'm like, I'm keep calling y'all every week. I'm emailing people. Nobody's replying. I don't know what's going on with my son's case. Like, can somebody update me? So, once his classes started in December, his classes started in December. It was good. Like, he had a guy technician this time, so it was different. Um, And I don't know, I feel like it was more so of him. He was trying to more so of chastise my son. And I don't like that. Like, no, like, you're not going to chastise my son because he already, he was already on a good path, because when he couldn't get services, of course, as a mother, you feel so defeated. So what I was doing is I'm looking at ABA sessions on YouTube and speech sessions on YouTube, and I'm doing for what I learned from in his speech. I'm doing what I saw his other ABA teacher doing. I cleaned up our upstairs and I transformed it to the classroom you guys see. So I was already doing that with him. So I got him to sit at the table. I got him to do his shape sorters. I got him to be coloring. We doing blocks, we turn taking, we're cleaning up. Like, he's throwing his trash away, he's brushing his teeth, he's sitting on the potty. So that's what he's coming to his name more. And it's just more so of an interaction thing because like I'm teaching him. So they're here for like only like 3 weeks, and we already had 2 BCs because our initial BC didn't even, she had to take a test and she ended up not passing, so she had to get demoted. So, like, y'all have people in positions that they're not qualified for. Y'all have technicians who still have training to do. He probably missed like the a day on the first week because he's like, I have to go do this training for the company. So in my head, I'm already thinking like, okay, so they on the same thing that Centria was on. They just hiring people, giving them the sessions, and throwing them in the water. So that was already a red flag for me. Then a red flag for me was him having my son sit at the table for, like I said, we doing 5-hour sessions, and for a 2-year-old, like that's a lot anyway. So and then he's on the spectrum, so him sitting at the table for 5 hours with you giving him little 5-minute breaks and you following him around the house, like that's not okay with me. Like, now my son don't want to sit down at the table at all, and now when we sit down as a family for dinner, he's crying and he don't want to sit down because he thinking he on punishment, and that's not the case. And we just like, baby, you have to eat. So I addressed it, of course, and I let them know like he don't like that. He don't like being followed around. He don't like just sitting at the table. Like, y'all don't have no activities for 2-year-olds. Like, y'all don't have no floor activities. Like, he had to keep doing the same matching and doing the same shapes that he already know. Like, he already know this stuff because I taught him this stuff, because I teach him this stuff, because I cleared out the upstairs and I go over this with him. Like, don't try to act like y'all came in here doing this and this and that for him, because that's not the case. Like, so I want to say that what they did do was they did make him a PEX book, and they did use it, and they showed me how to use it, and I used it with him. And like once he got the book, the next probably day, the next day my son was like sick, with the flu, and he had we had to go to the emergency. So he was out for a couple days, probably like, I want to say probably like 3 days, and then it was like a weekend too. So probably like a whole 5 days altogether was missed, including the weekend. So once he, class started back up, and I'm like, yeah, he know how to use the PEX book, like he know how to do his juice symbol. And oh, okay. So they see him do it, and they're so like impressed, like, oh my gosh, like what the heck, like he really knows how to use it. And I'm like, yeah, like, okay, like I told y'all that, like I keep telling y'all, like he catch on quick, and once he catches on, he don't want to keep doing the same thing. And I already had a problem because, like I said, they was only with him for, I'm gonna say 4 weeks. I'm not saying 3, but it's probably 4. You know, like I said, I've been through technicians, so I know the first 2 weeks is parent, and it was like immediately y'all went into, oh, Damari, do this, oh, Damari, do that, oh, you have to sit here for 5 hours, and it's like, that's not gonna fly. So of course I addressed it like, he likes to color, he likes to play with his blocks. Like, y'all don't do the turn taking with the blocks, or y'all don't do, like, he like bubbles. Like he was signed for some bubbles. Like he'll do the more sign for some bubbles. Like if you played with him for the first 2 weeks like you were supposed to, instead of just trying to, oh, do this, do this, do this, because he knew how to do it already, you would have learned how my son operates. You would have saw that, okay, if he gets irritated sitting at the table, let's just move to the floor, Damari. Let's do blocks on the floor. He's still engaging. He just don't want to keep sitting at the table. So it was like, after them 2 weeks, y'all think y'all about to stop parenting and do that? Like, no. Y'all think y'all about to go in the bedroom and shut the door and he gonna be crying? No. Y'all gonna sit here in the dining room where I can watch and observe, because I already don't like how you instantly went into do this, do this, do this, do this, do this without your 2 weeks of parenting. Like, I didn't like that to begin with. So that was another red flag for me. Like, y'all got a BC who doesn't have the qualifications. Y'all have this technician who don't know that, okay, for these first 2 weeks you have to parent, you have to learn your students so you can see how they operate, so you can get a better understanding of how you're gonna teach them. I didn't like how they had, well, these are the tasks that he has to complete, and he has to do these and do that. I said, so he's 2 years old. So honestly, y'all don't have no task that's just, no program that's just qualified for him. You are just giving everybody the same programs. Like, so y'all know kids on the spectrum operate differently. So why are y'all giving everybody the same program? Like, that doesn't work. Like I said, like, I know, like, people is just getting thrown into the autism water because it's just an outbreak now. But that's not how you do things. Like, come on now. Like, these kids are on the spectrum. It's nothing to be played with. So we did a couple weeks. My son probably did one Friday class because he was out of school. And the other Fridays, I'm carrying him off the bus. So I'm texting the technician like, yeah, he's sleeping. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to do session today. Because not only was they trying to come and do session after his class, but then they tried to, like, do the whole another 5 hours. So y'all already saying like, okay, 5 hours is a lot for a 2-year-old. But then y'all want to add on another day. Like, so I'm like, okay, I'm already peeping at y'all all about paychecks.